Hello, what's up? It's Shay here from Hard Fail Yugi, and today we're going to be doing a budget Rikka deck. So there's not too many crazy staples or anything in it. This is just a budget deck to have a little bit of fun with, but also has a little bit of success against some meta decks I've experienced because it's not really accounted for. So it's a fun little rogue deck to use. But there's nothing like infinite permanences, triple deck talents, none of that's in here. Basically because I have a lot more better decks I'd rather put money into. So first off, we'll start out with Cyclamen, Erica, and Hellebora, the Rikka fairies. None of them are too crazy good on their own. They're basically just names to have to search off the other cards and get out there to build into other cards. Hellebora is really the only one that you're probably going to be using its effect off of too much. Erica is the least used card probably in my entire deck, but it's just there to fill a spot. So that's them. That's just the first ones. On to some useful ones. Here is Mudon. Mudon you definitely want to run 2 or 3 of. When it is special summoned or normal summoned by the effect of a plant monster, you can add a Rikka spell or trap from your deck to your hand. So that helps you cycle through your deck really good. Here's Primula. Run 3 of her. Anytime a monster you control is tributed, doesn't even have to be a plant, except for the during damage step, you can special this card from your hand, which is really good just to obviously get something out on the field. So those 2 are both really good for the deck. The next one is possibly the most important one. This is Rikka Petal. This is your starter. Basically lets you search any of the other ones to hand, and what I usually do is I would search and add Snowdrop to hand, and then you can tribute off one of your plants on the field, tribute off Rikka Petal after searching Snowdrop I would do, and then you can add another one to hand, like Mudon, and then when you tribute that one, special summon Snowdrop and another one. Really good combo with those 2. Those ones, if you don't run 3 of, it's probably not going to be as consistent. Those are obviously the best 2 monsters in the Rikka package, at least. And then I run Aromage, Aromage Jasmine, and Aromage Marjoram. Aromage is basically like a last-ditch effort. It's not a plant, so it cuts off some of the combos you could have going. It's basically just a marshmallow for the deck or something, you know. You gain life points every turn, though, which helps with a lot of the Aromage package that's in here. Like Aromage Jasmine, you gain life points, draw a card. Marjoram, you gain life points, target 1 card in your opponent's graveyard, up to the number of Aroma monsters you have in the field, banish them. So, that's a good little package right there, and Marjoram's a good one to add with Snowdrop if you're out of other things. Cactus Bouncer. This is to stun your opponent if you got a plant already out and then you're able to summon this next turn. You can't special summon it, but neither player can special summon monsters while this is face up on the field. And it's got 1800 attack, so it's not too bad if you can get out real early and just stop your opponent. Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood. One of the Ghost Sisters, this one gains you life points, and a lot of this deck is gaining life points and contributing. That's basically your 2 themes in this deck. Lone Fire Blossom lets you go into any of the other plants. Simple as that. You tribute it off, you have any plant from your deck. Rose Girl, really good for the Aromage Synchro. If a face-up plant monster you control is sent to the graveyard, except bring damage up, you can special summon this card from your hand. So that's really good. It's kind of like Primula. If a plant monster on the field and this card is in your graveyard, you can add this card to your hand. So it recycles. You can only use it once per turn, but there's no restriction like banish it afterward. You can keep doing it over and over again, and it's a level 3 tuner, so that's pretty good. Another thing I forgot to say about Snowdrop is when Snowdrop's on the field, you can target any monster you have, and all of your monsters become that level, which makes some synchro plays pretty easy. Talia, this is a good Lone Fire Blossom target after you already have some stuff on the field or a Snowdrop target. Xyz Slido Dolphin, it being water helps, and it's just good to add on to your Rikka Xyz. Aroma Garden and Aroma Gardening, this is your field spell, and this is the Aroma Continuous spell. And this one, if you special summon Aroma monsters, you gain life points, and then that will trigger your Aroma monsters' effects. And then if your opponent declares an attack while your life points are lower than your opponent's, you can special summon one of the Aroma monsters from your deck. So that's not bad to get out Marjoram. Aroma Garden, you can, if you gain control an Aroma monster, you can gain 500 life points. That'll trigger that monster's effect. Also, all monsters you control gain 500 attack and defense until the end of your opponent's next turn. So as long as it's out there, you can keep gaining 500 attack as long as you have an Aroma monster over and over and over again. And if an aroma monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, gain 1,000 life points. So that's some good recursion right there. Cauldron of the Old Man. You could run 3 of this. This is just really good to keep your life points going up and keeps the aroma effects going. Or if you get close enough, you're like in a standstill, burn your opponent out towards the end. 1 for 1. If you're in any deck with a level 1 monster, you usually want to run this, and this is for Rikka Petal in case you didn't draw it first turn to keep your starter going. 2 Rikka Flurries. I used to do 3, and then 2 Rikka Glamour. Flurries, every time you tribute one of your monsters, a Rikka monster, it makes your opponent tribute 1, and this is good because it doesn't target and it makes your opponent do it. So it's a good out for any monsters that can't be targeted by effects. And then Rikka Glamour just adds any of the Rikka monsters from your deck to your hand. And all of the Rikka cards have an extra effect, like if you tribute, you get a second effect out of it, but you're not too often doing that if you want to keep your board good. Salvage. This is something that you could replace with something else if you wanted. It just adds 2 water monsters with attack of 15 or less from your graveyard to your hand. So this can like recurse your lower level Rikkas and stuff. 1 Rikka Sheet, 2 Tranquility. So this is kind of like Widow Anchor, but in trap form, so it's not as good. And then Tranquility is basically a Monster Reborn, but in trap form, so they're not as good. If those cards are like spells or quick effect spells, they'd be probably at 3 in each of these decks. And then a Solemn Strike, just because I'm not running too many good like hand traps or anything to stop, so this is like, if you're going first, you can get this down, it's pretty good. And then White Howling can cut off our opponent's spells for a turn, which isn't bad. For the extra deck, 3 Teardrop the Rikka Queen. This is the best thing in your entire deck. Detach a material, tribute a card on the field. You can do opponents your side either way. Get off your effects, just get rid of something they have. It's pretty good. And since it's tributing, it does get around destruction effects. If a card can't be targeted, you can't do it, but usually it's not too much of a problem. Gadzashi the Rikka Queen. You got 3 of that. This one you're going to go to basically only if you're out of teardrops. It's not as good. It basically has like a Monster Reborn effect, but it negates the effects and it becomes a plant monster though, so that helps. So if you take your opponents, it won't cut off any of your things that need plants. And then if a plant monster you control will be destroyed by card effect, you contribute 1 plant monster from your hand or field instead. So that's not terrible. 3 of Strenna, the new one. This is the level 4 one, so this is kind of easier to get out. You can attach 1 material from this card and target 1 plant monster or Rikka card in your graveyard, add to hand. So that's good like recursion there. And then if this card is tributed, while it has material on it, you can special summon 1 rank 5 or higher, either of the other 2, so basically you can rank up with it. One Sylvan Princess Sprite. This is just for the Rikka Petals in case you get 2 out there. This is just a backup thing. This is not something you really want to bring out, but it's just good to have just as a backup. Aroma Seraphy Sweet Marjoram and Aroma Seraphy Jasmine. These are both your Aroma extra deck monsters. This one takes 2 plants, this one takes a tuner and a non-tuner. So this is using your Rose Girl is really what you're going to use for this. And they both get pretty good effects off it. If your life points are higher than your opponent's, this card and any plant monsters it points to cannot be destroyed by battle. So this is really something if you can get it out early turns, put this out and then like a teardrop and have it pointing at it. That's pretty good there. And then you could tribute that and search any plant as well. And then this card, when you gain life points, you can destroy your opponent's monsters or any card your opponent controls and destroy it, as long as it can be targeted. So that's the extra deck there. Like this, nothing too crazy. This is just a budget deck, but it's got some very good consistency, I've noticed. Extra deck, got a couple options here. It's not full or anything. Got another Ghost Sister, Spooky Dogwood, just in case. Rose Lover isn't terrible. Banish this card from the graveyard, special summon 1 plant monster from your hand, and if you do, it's unaffected by opponent's trap effects this turn. If it was unaffected by all effects, it'd be main decked, but yeah. Miracle Fertilizer. I mean, I've tried it out. It's niche. Mystical Space Typhoon and Twin Twisters in case your opponent's got like a back row deck. Obviously, just something like that. Lost Wind in case you're just getting hit by those effects too much. Mirror Force, Quaking Mirror Force as backups. And then Rikka Sheet. just another one of those in case I feel like switching something out like salvage. So that's basically the deck there.